We'll start with microsporogenesis. The word itself says micro, the very smallest part. So, if you have to remember this word microsporogenesis, genesis means formation. So, we are going to talk about formation of pollen grains. So, it's clear microspore means pollen grains. Now, when you have already learned the structure of anther, inside the anther, the diagram of TS, let's just go back to that previous diagram. Here, you can see the first layer, that was the epidermis. After epidermis, it was the endodermis or endothecium, right? We don't use the word dermis, endo here. And the next layer, we are talking about this orange cell in all the four pollen sac. You call that as tapetum. That's a cell made up of, with the purpose, they're made with the purpose that they're supposed to nourish the sporogenous tissue. Inside you can see some tissue means group of cell, right? And what is the word given for it? Sporogenous. This sporogenous tissue will form microspore mother cell. What will they form? Microspore mother cell. So here, if you read from here, each microspore mother cell, मतलब स्पोरोजेनस टिश्यू में से जो सेल मिलते हैं, हर एक सेल एक माइक्रोस्पोर मदर सेल बनाता है, राइट? सो एवरी माइक्रोस्पोर मदर सेल would undergo meiosis, right? We have already done cell division in three parts: amitosis, mitosis, and meiosis. So here we are talking about meiosis. So one mother cell, that's microspore mother cell, will convert itself into 4 pollen grains. That's what it says, 4 microspore. That's tetrad of haploid. Tetrad इसलिए क्योंकि एक 4 बनाता है, because you remember meiosis में 2 sets थे, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So that will happen, and at the end you're going to get 4 microspore. So it should be very clear in your mind what is a microspore. Microspore in plants means pollen grains. So they are the male gametes in a flower. Now let's understand. We don't have the diagram much, but still up page number 4 you can see a little bit over here. So the diagram in front of you, let's just focus on this particular diagram. What do you see here? A pollen grain. This is one microspore. Is microspore का special? Let's talk about the special characteristics. कितने सेल हैं? Unicell, मतलब single cell structure. Then कितने chromosome number हैं? Single. So we use the word haploid. Okay, जब double होते हैं we call it diploid. Then are they movable? No, they are non-motile. And what about the surrounding? What are they surrounded with? If you just see, there are how many layers? One is the inside layer and another is the external layer, जो कहीं कहीं पे बिल्कुल नहीं है, right? कुछ कुछ जगह में जैसे कि यहाँ पे नहीं था, यहाँ पे नहीं था, फिर यहाँ नहीं था. So we have 2 layers. इन दोनों लेयर को हम एक साथ we use the word sporoderm. स्पोर के ऊपर का स्किन है, so we are using the word derm, D-E-R-M, sporoderm. So whenever you're listening to what I'm saying, I want you to write down, underline it. Writing down will help. And this chapter is specially for those children who want to score 6 out of 6, and for their NEET, they're going to score really well. If they do this chapter really, really well, every line, bit by bit, make sure you go through every words which are difficult for you, ask. Okay. Now, I will try my level best to cover up with all the words we are using here. So, outer cover of pollen grain is called as sporoderm. Sporoderm के 2 लेयर होते हैं. जो बाहर का लेयर है उसको हम बोलेंगे एक्साइन, राइट, और जो अंदर का लेयर है उसको हम बोलेंगे इंटाइन. इंटाइन इज़ अ कंप्लीट लेयर. एक्साइन इज़ नॉट अ कंप्लीट लेयर. वाई? बिकॉज इट हैज़ गॉट small pores that is to facilitate the pollen tubes movement, right? That you will understand. Okay, then we have, I'm sorry about that. Let's say, what is this outer layer? We were talking about the 2 layer. One was intine and another was exine. तो जो बाहर की लेयर है उसकी एक बहुत स्पेशल क्वालिटी है. इट इज़ मेड अप ऑफ स्पोरोपोलिनिन. So these words are going to score you marks. Okay, what is it made up of? Sporopolinin. Whereas the inside layer, it is made up of cellulose and pectin. Sporopolinin कौन सी लेयर को बना रहा है? एक्साइन, द आउटर वन. एंड जो अंदर की लेयर है उसको सेल्यूलोज और पेक्टिन बना रहा है, राइट. नाउ वी हैव वेरी स्पेशल क्वालिटी ऑफ स्पोरोपोलिनिन, दैट इज इट इज़ वेरी वेरी रेसिस्टेंट टू केमिकल. बहुत ही हार्श है. कितना भी सीवियर केमिकल हम यूज़ करेंगे, इट विल नेवर गेट डिसइंटीग्रेटेड, right? So we'll just go to that topic right now. Just for showing you the diagram, I came here, but we'll see here structure of a microspore, structure of a pollen grain. You can see first characteristics, non-motile, movement नहीं है, haploid, single chromosome, unicellular, single cell, surrounded by 2 layers. You call that sporoderm. Outer layer is called exine. Inner layer is called intine. Exine is made by a very complex non-biodegradable substance, sporopolinin. Non-biodegradable. So इसका answer, there's a question here. Why pollen grains remain well preserved as fossil? तो क्योंकि कितना भी climate change हो जाए, कितना भी time गया, but this outer cover does not change at all. So that's why they say that it is non-biodegradable, right? And it has got at some places little layer जहाँ कम होती है परत. You call that area germ pore, and germ pore is for the meant proper development of pollen tube during germination. Why is there a germ pore? If a question comes, it is for the growth of pollen tube during germination of pollen grains. Now, what is this exine made up of? This question is very common. Why is it that it cannot get destroyed with time? Because the outer layer is non-biodegradable, made up of sporopolinin, and it is resistant to chemical. It is resistant to chemical, right? And what is the inner layer made up of? The intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. Let's go to the next one. How do they develop? So when you talk about pollen grain, we'll go to page number 4 that says, how do the male gametophyte? We were talking about microspore, okay, pollen grain. अब pollen grain के अंदर male gametes कैसे बनते हैं, that we are going to learn. So basically this is one single pollen grain. This single pollen grain will undergo division, cell division, and it will be mitotic division, okay? Mitosis होगा. First mitosis, that will give rise to 2 sections, two cells inside the pollen grain. One cell will be called as vegetative, another one will be called as generative cell. Okay, this generative cell will be floating inside the pollen grain. And the second, see here, the second mitotic division will be not in the entire pollen grain. It will be only with the generative cell. मतलब हमारा पहला क्या था, एक pollen grain. इसके अंदर माइटोसिस हुआ तो हमारे को मिला वेजिटेटिव सेल और एक जनरेटिव सेल. वेजिटेटिव सबसे बड़ा सेल है, वो नरिश करता है जनरेटिव सेल को. सो जो जनरेटिव सेल है उसके अंदर होगा अब सेकेंड माइटोसिस. पहला माइटोसिस हुआ हमारे माइक्रोस्पोर में, दैट इज़ द pollen grain. Second mitosis is going to happen inside the generative nucleus or generative cell. This generative cell will divide itself into again two smaller cells called as male gametes, which is going to move out of this exine and intine through the help of pollen tube into the female gametophyte for the fertilization purpose. Okay, so total बहुत common question. Let's see one very common question which we always see. How many divisions occur for formation of two male gametes? So the answer is 2. First happens here in the microspore. Second happens inside the generative cell. Okay, that will give rise to two male gametes. They are non-motile male gametes. Then we have something very important here. In the previous topic we learned male reproductive part was androgen. तो उसके single part को हमने बोला था, what was the word we have used, if you remember? Stamen, right? But here we are talking about, now we are talking about this next whorl, that is the female reproductive whorl, जिसको हम बोलते हैं gynoecium. इसके single unit को बोलते हैं carpel. Single unit का मतलब है आपका stigma, style and then the ovary, right? This is the stigma, this is the style and this is the ovary. Ovary के अंदर है हमारा female gamete. Okay, so it is the ovule. You have to remember that ovule. We have certain terms which we have to remember. This one, first term, it is the apocarpus. एपोकार्पस का मतलब जब एक फ्लावर के अंदर बहुत सारे कार्पल्स फ्री होते हैं, सेपरेट सेपरेट. स्टिग्मा इज सेपरेट. ओके, बट सिनकार्पस क्या होता है? व्हेन मेनी कार्पल्स आर टुगेदर, दे आर like this, they are fused together. Okay, for example, they are giving example of brinjal. Michelia is not an example which you have visualized, but वो छोटे छोटे berry like fruits बनाते हैं Michelia. Then we have another word which is very common, uni-ovulated. मतलब single ovule वाला structure होता है gynoecium के अंदर. Multi-ovulated जब बहुत सारे ovules होते हैं. Sorry, बहुत सारे what do you call it? Yeah, ovules only. I'm sorry.